Hi everybody and welcome back to another Legends of Runeterra video. Today we got the Rek'Sai reveal. We're not going to go through the reveal trailer for Rek'Sai. Go ahead and watch that if you want to. We're just going to go ahead and start evaluating these new cards that they ended up revealing today. There's only 5 and technically only really 3, as 2 of them are the same, and then Rek'Sai I'm not counting as 2 different cards herself. Yeah, so as expected, Rek'Sai is a Lurker. This is a 3-drop, so the first, I guess the unleveled up version is down here at the right hand side. Let's see if we'll come down here and look at these bigger cards. Rek'Sai 3 cost Lurk, a 3/6, so a massive stat line for a 3-drop. It's a fearsome blocker. It's got a ton of health. And yeah, just in general, it's going to be a difficult card to take out, especially if you put it down on turn 3. But let's go ahead and read this. So when I lurk or attack, grant lurker allies everywhere +1/+0. And then round end, place me into your deck. So this makes sense as to why the stat line is so high. Every time, I think attack or defense is how I'm reading this. At the end of the round, Rek'Sai is going back into the deck. So, I don't really know how I feel about that. And then the level up is I've attacked with 10 or more power. Alright, so in the gameplay video, it looked like, so even though Lurk says that it can only be triggered once per round, if you have Rek'Sai attacking or on the top of your deck, it actually counts as a +2. So the units that were out when Rek'Sai was at the top of the deck got a +2 buff instead of +1. So I'm taking it that when Rek'Sai is out or on the top of the deck, you're going to get an additional Lurk proc, which definitely makes the Lurk archetype a little bit better. You're going to be able to buff your units a little bit more, just because Rek'Sai is in your deck. So that's nice. But this is probably one of the most difficult champions to level up, in my opinion. Like, I've attacked with 10 or more power, so we've got a couple of conditions here that we have to meet in order to level up Rek'Sai. Now, this is just a theory. I mean, we're definitely going to have to make the deck and actually see how difficult it will be to level her up, but okay, so 2 things here. So 1, we have to have met the condition, so she has to have, very similar to Vi, has to have 10 or more power to level up. So, I mean, we can do that through buffing her, artificially buffing, we can say, with attack buffs that are available in certain regions, right? And get her to that 10 attack stat. We could also, I guess, do it through means of kind of like Omen Hawk or Starlit Seer and hope to actually hit the Rek'Sai, or what is seeming to be making a little bit more sense now is like the Xenotype researchers and randomly hitting Rek'Sai in your deck with the buff. So we can kind of see a little bit of synergy with Shurima and with some other cards that are already available. But so that's the first condition here, is that we have to get Rek'Sai to 10 or more power. Oh, and the Lurk. It's like I even forgot to mention Lurk. So the Lurk as well will help Rek'Sai get to that 10 power, but we'd have to proc that 7 times if we don't really have any other way to artificially buff her. I guess, I mean, she counts as 2 for herself, so if she is on the top of the deck, then 6 times or 5 times, whatever. So, but we do have to do that, right? And we only get to attack once every other turn, which is kind of important. And that's considering we don't put something like the Snapjaw Swarm, or that Bilgewater doesn't have any more of these I start a free attack cards. All right, first condition is met. Now the second condition that we have to meet here. So Rek'Sai has 10 power, but let's say you don't draw her, right? She goes back into your deck every time at the end of each round, right? You have her out on your board, so you're losing a blocker. She goes back into your deck, and you got to find her again. So we are kind of stuck in a very narrow archetype, is what it's looking like with these Lurker cards. A very narrow predict archetype. Maybe we could do a mono Shurima with the flavor of Freljord, and have Entreat or something, right? Where we could draw her consistently. But I mean, you've only got 3 of those in your deck, so We'll see what happens. I'm a little skeptical of Rek'Sai. It's very, very difficult to level up. Oh, and then if you do get her out, there's like a huge potential for her to be stunned or maybe she doesn't have to. What does Vi look like? What does Vi look like? Let's look at Vi's wording here. Come on, just like type in Vi and she doesn't come up. Come on, Vi. What are you doing? Vi. Okay. I guess we'll just do this the hard way. When I strike for 10 or more damage. All right, so a little bit different already, actually. So Vi is when I strike. Rek'Sai is I've attacked with 10 or more power. So actually quite a bit different. So this actually makes her a lot better on the attack, right? She doesn't need to strike. She just needs to have attacked to level up. I mean the enemy, so she's not going to be out. There's still a lot of ways to react around this, which makes me very skeptical that she'll be part of a meta. I said this about Irelia. I kind of underestimated her power, but it's very easy to counter this with stuns, with recalls, with just ways of keeping her from attacking, and yeah, that just seems to me to make it a little less reliable on the level up, but we'll see what happens. I guess spell shield's a thing. We have the soothsayer. I don't know. This is very, very questionable. Massive stat line, but I mean, I think it's going to be hard to do. I really do. She doesn't even have fearsome. I thought she was going to have fearsome at the very least. She doesn't even have fearsome. All right, when she levels up, she's got overwhelm at least. But yeah, I'm the level up. I mean, we get a pretty big payoff. Definitely get a pretty big payoff with the Rek'Sai leveled up. The overwhelm definitely goes a long ways. But just initially doing it may be very difficult. All right, so let's look at the level up version. When I level up, create 3 random lurkers in hand. So that's interesting. Now, again, we see a little bit of synergy with something like careful preparation, where we can put those, cards back into our deck. But like they're not really helping us get the lurk procs themselves. They're in our hand, which doesn't really help. The round in place me into your deck goes away with the Rek'Sai, which is great. So she will stick onto the board after the level up. That is awesome, which makes the payoff a lot better since the stat line is going to be massive. Oh, and then another thing as well. I think when she goes back into the deck, it should heal her health, right? That's how I would interpret it as well. At the end of the round, unless the enemy has a way to remove her, she's actually going to stick around. It's going to be really hard to kill her, and it should heal the Rek'Sai every time she goes back into the deck. So every time you get her out, it's going to be actually very difficult to kill her. Yeah, so she should be coming back as like a 6 health unit, and the lurk procs are going to stay on her, right? So the attack will go up, the health will go up as well. So that's pretty good. One thing going for it. Let's see here. So yeah, just the overwhelm is the new bit here on the leveled up version. You create 3 random lurkers in hand, and then the other ability stays the same. When I lurk or attack, grant lurker allies everywhere +1/+0. So I mean, the payoff is definitely high. I am a little skeptical about how hard it is going to be to actually level her up. We've seen with Zillion, I brought this up the last time, that's kind of the other predict archetype champion that we have at the moment. Very, very unreliable level up, and we are relying, on predicting cards and getting out the time bombs and being able to level him up. I think it's going to be somewhat similar here. We'll have to wait to see, though, how difficult it actually will be. All right, Rek'Sai's Call the Pack. Call the Pack, we'll just read this one. This is a lurk card as well. Interesting. So a spell, that actually makes it a lot better. We're not going to be solely focused on units in order to get lurk procs. To play, put a card from hand on top of your deck. Create 2 random lurker followers in hand. Ooh, okay. Okay, that makes it a little bit better. So we are able to ensure that we get like a lurker on the top of our deck. We refill our hands with lurkers, so I understand how they're kind of balancing that, right? Because you want to be able to attack with lurkers if you've got lurker on the top of your deck. So you've got some created in your hand, you put one on the top of your deck that's in your hand already, and then you get the buff. So that's pretty good. I like this 2-cost spell. It's a burst speed. This is decent. And then we get card creation out of it as well for 2 mana, which is pretty good. And the Lurker cards, I mean, seem okay, and it doesn't seem like it's region specific. It doesn't say from your region, so I'm guessing it's going to be all Lurk cards available to the game. So we'll probably get some Bilgewater cards as well. Not champions, but should get the followers. Yeah, interesting. All right. Anything else here? All right, let's look at the Zerzareth, the Under Titan. Attack. If I have 8 or more power, give me Fearsome, Overwhelm, and Spell Shield this round. This is a 5-drop. This is actually, I think, a pretty powerful card. I think this is more powerful than the, was it a 6-drop that we got yesterday? The Rek'Sai Dunebreaker. And how couldn't it be actually better than that? It's got more. I mean, its initial attack stat is lower, but it's coming out earlier. You have to take that into account. The Lurk, so it's only ever going to have 1 less attack than the Rek'Sai Dunebreaker. And then as soon as you get it over 8 power, it's going to have 3 keywords as opposed to 1. I think this card is so much better than the Rek'Sai Dunebreaker. And just because it even coming out 1 turn earlier makes it a lot better. It makes Call to Pack better, so that you're not going to be creating these really expensive Rek'Sai, Lurker units in hand that are going to be hard to play. I'm pretty happy about the stat and the keywords on this one. So pretty cool overall. All right, so yeah, I'm definitely like thematically Rek'Sai is really cool. I'll just finish up by saying again, I think this is going to be pretty difficult to level her up. Pretty difficult, but there is a huge payoff for it. And kind of depending on Bilgewater and the other Lurk cards, I think is going to determine how good Rek'Sai is going to be, because we have to see kind of the whole package, right? At the moment, the Lurker cards that we have, you're pretty much, I mean, if this was all the Lurker cards that you were going to get, right? It'd be pretty difficult to build a deck and reliably get the Lurk procs with meaningful units, every round. Like, you'd have to include pretty much the whole package here, and not all of them are good. I'm not a very big fan of either the Rek'Sai Collar or the Rek'Sai Dunebreaker, but I guess we'll see what happens with Bilgewater. Yeah, pretty exciting. I bet we'll get the Bilgewater followers tomorrow, I kind of imagine. We'll see. And then we'll get a better idea of how good this is going to be. I think Call the Pack is actually a really good card. Just the card creation and card production from this alone is pretty good. And also the ability to ensure that you get the Lurk procs are pretty nice as well. But yeah, pretty big fan of Zerzareth, the Under Titan, and then Rek'Sai. We're gonna have to wait and see, but yeah. I don't know, pretty exciting. I'm ready for the new expansion, and yeah, hopefully you guys are too. If you, did I miss anything? Did you guys see anything with these cards? I feel like they're pretty straightforward. What are your thoughts about Rek'Sai? How good is she going to be? How easy is it going to be to level her up? And then, is this just going to be a game-winning level up once she does? I don't know. Yeah, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks.